Yes, let's start again. Now that I have told you how everything is working, I'm just going to click here and going to execute it. Everything worked fine. And if I come here, it will say, okay, true. Instructions are passing. Come here, it will say what? Employee is getting executed. Name is this one because I have just changed the name when I post the video. This one is delete employee. Again it is had deleted the employee, and this is the employee name that it has that it got from property transfer. This is the raw HTML response. So this one I have told you just about how to run everything without Groovy scripting. Now I will tell you about Groovy scripting that I have done to edit a what do you call a request and inserting some values in it, then executing it, then asserting it. I done assertion. This one is, as you can see, is a request. The data is already provided in here. You know what, I will just remove them and going to close them. This is a Groovy scripting. Groovy scripting, you will see that this one first line is pretty standard. These are import. This one is for external holder, which is used for parsing. This one is visual test run context. This is for running. This is the first line. This one is for name, ID, age. So where I'm getting them from, you will find for that from the test runner. I can also use context, but test runner provide much more flexibility, and log.info is just generally used for printing. Just used for printing. I haven't seen it being used in any place else. Log.info. Test runner dot test case. It will say go to test case, go to test tab. Which test step? It is saying this test step. This test step in this test step, which but this test step is called actually this one is called originally as test step properties. You remember that earlier we had put some values where in test suite, sorry, in test cases. We can also provide in test suite in project level, but we can also provide them in here. Over here I have provided name, ID, age. Not I provided the department because the minimum occurrence how many? 0. I am checking that if it is able to get minimum occurrences or not. So it is saying go to this test tab, this one which I had opened, get the property name, ID, value, and push them in these fields. Next thing I'm doing, I'm getting the request. This one is pretty uh, this one is pretty clever code. So what is happening that I will go in here, you will find that here in custom property we cannot add any custom property, but there are already some custom properties written. We have written like request, we have authorizations, endpoint. You see this one is written as as a request. But request, this request, what I want to do, I want to get this request, I want to paste the value that I have just received, and I want to parse it and then execute it and then assert it. So this is what I'm going to do. So test case, test step, which one test step? This test step, and get property which request, getting a request. Then I am parsing the XML, then I'm setting the value. Where I'm setting the value, I'm getting this name, ID, age, and I'm going in this X path. If I open this one, here I go, it will say add employee name, add employee ID, age, and department I'm not using. Name, age, ID, and afterward Afterward, all the values will be placed over here. The next thing which will come over here, I am using again the test runner, test case, test tab, but setting the value, not getting the value. In the request, custom property, not custom property, just property, we can say that it is not even custom property. Let me see, we can say it a custom property, but I think that's not a fair name. Yeah, it's called custom property. Custom property, and putting the newly edited XML document in here, which has in which we have inserted the values. This one here we are executing the code using WS Visual Test and Context. Here we are doing assertion using how assert, using assert is the keyword. Here we are, what we are doing here, we are getting what, the response, because we are going to do assertion on response, and then we are again going to parse it. Again we are going to retrieve some value from it. Which value we are retrieving? This add employee return, which was providing earlier, but as boolean value. I have shown you from in here, right? It will provide you with boolean value. Where did it go? Yeah, here it is, boolean. Then so here we have some boolean value, and then we are getting this assert values from a custom property. From where one? From a test case. This is assert run, right? Here I'm not hard coding anything, so just to make sure that I'm using a lot of custom properties in here. If I execute, it will execute, and it will tell, okay, your test case has ran successfully. You see, true. You know what, I will run it again. It now it is giving a error. It is saying the value which is coming as null. Why it is coming as null? If we go in here, not in here, in here, you will find, okay, oh god, why this is happening? I think it has hanged or something. So what is happening, that earlier we were having all that x path. Now we don't have a x path to the value uh, true. Now this is the reason it was giving us null. Null is not equal to true. So that's how I have executed using Groovy and test suite, and without any Groovy.